Finally, some oversight coming in from the Supreme Court. You guys remember these judges Xinis and Boasberg? They've been in the news recently.
Judge Xinis wants the alleged MS-13 gang member and human trafficker returned to the U.S. by tomorrow. But the administration says she does not have the authority to do this. The White House has even made a major change to their legal team to better fight this judge, suspending a lawyer who they say failed to, quote, zealously advocate, unquote, on behalf of the U.S. At the same time, a ruling could be expected as early as this week from another Obama-appointed judge. Judge Boasberg is signaling that he will hold Trump administration officials in contempt of court for deporting hundreds of illegals to El Salvador's notorious mega prison. Wow, lots to unpack there.
Indeed, quite a bit to unpack. In fact, I think Adam Schiff himself has an update for us.
I regret to announce that the Chief Justice, during the course of the hearing, Chief Justice Roberts, has indefinitely blocked the court order requiring the return of Kilmore Abrego Garcia. This ruling came out during the course of this hearing.
Breaking! Supreme Court Justice Roberts indefinitely blocks court order requiring the return of an alleged El Salvadorian MS-13 gang member. And no one likes to report on that since they initially said it 2 weeks ago, do they? Even NPR themselves reported that this guy was an alleged gang member according to a confidential informant's claim back in 2019. And the only reason why his deportation order was stayed was because he personally made an appeal to a judge, not on an evidentiary basis, just a personal appeal, and got the judge to stay the deportation order. Let me know what you guys think. Do you believe this confidential informant's claim that he's an alleged gang member, or are you more inclined to believe that that's just rumor? Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video because I don't see the mainstream media reporting anywhere on this recent Supreme Court ruling. In fact, they seem to be oddly quiet about it right now, despite all the media coverage over the past couple weeks. Isn't it crazy how much money the media will put behind one side of the narrative, and they oddly quiet when it comes to the other side of the coin, man? You'd think that they'd even want to rally their base over this Supreme Court ruling, but I guess they don't want the overall conversation about the separation of powers, because that would involve addressing the actual logic of, say, the argument that John Sauer made when he actually applied to the Supreme Court to stay this ruling, which was, I think, was really interesting, and he made some good points here, man. The Constitution vests the president with control over foreign nations so that the United States speaks with one voice, not so that the president's central Article 2 prerogatives can give way to district court diplomacy. If this precedent stands, other district courts could order the United States to successfully negotiate the return of other removed aliens anywhere in the world by close of business. Under that logic, district courts would effectively have extraterritorial jurisdiction over the United States' diplomatic relations with the entire world. It's like these judges think they're feudal lords or something. By decree as the Duke of Maryland, I demand you bring that plane around. I'm so glad the Supreme Court shot it down, man. But okay, how about Boasberg? How did Boasberg get it?
On Thursday, he said, "It seems to me there's a fair likelihood that that is not correct. In fact, that the government acted in bad faith throughout that day." Of course, that's the day that the gang members were taken out of the country. "If you really believed everything you did that day was legal and could survive a court challenge, I can't believe you ever would have operated the way that you did." How did it go this week for the Trump administration in this case?
Well, it's not going well on, the potential contempt front, that's for sure. And I do think that Judge Boasberg is right about this.
Oh, wow, contempt. That sounds serious. That sounds scary. This Boasberg guy, man, he really has some authority. I mean, according to him, he's got equitable powers to the president, and they don't just end at international airspace. They continue beyond. I mean, this is really intimidating, guys.
America has a robed politician problem, arguing that the left, unable to secure their agenda at the ballot box, has turned to national injunctions as a weapon to engineer outcomes they could not achieve democratically. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, this is really the fundamental difference between a conservative justice and a liberal activist judge. The conservative will view the law as it's written, not how they want it to be. But the liberals, for a very long time in this country, they had control of the Supreme Court. They just made up things. They made up rights that didn't exist to get to a political outcome. Now that you have a more conservative court, they're desperate. They're not in power in Congress anymore. And so I think a lot of these judges are taking it upon themselves to usurp really important power. For example, when President Trump declared a predatory incursion of these criminal violent gangs, he's well within his Article 2 executive power to deport them. He can do that. The judge, by stepping in there, Judge Boasberg, by stepping in the case that we're talking about, he somehow got, said you can't do that. That is like that judge dictating missile strikes or deciding troop movements. Those are national security issues. Those are those are powers of the commander-in-chief that the judge doesn't get to do. So the separation of powers works both ways. You don't get to kind of jump into the Article 2 branch's authority on commander-in-chief powers.
Will you look at that? Breaking. Huge win. Supreme Court vacates Judge Boasberg's orders barring Trump from deporting Venezuelan gang members under the Alien Enemies Act. I want you guys to understand the significance of an unsigned Supreme Court order. It means there was no deliberation. It means the facts of the case were so obvious under the law that no Supreme Court justice even needed to sign their name to the order because they all just unanimously agreed there wasn't even any controversy. That's what an unsigned Supreme Court order means. It's literally like a smack in the face to this Judge Boasberg, like, you don't even know the law, which is a relief to me, man, because we talked about the midnight judges of 1801, Jefferson and all of that, and how that's what codified the Supreme Court as being as powerful as it is today. And dude, can we even afford any more encroachment of authority by the judicial branch? As much as we've seen, they're willing to abuse the power they already have. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video and all that. I appreciate you. 2 smackdowns in one day. Dude, I will take it. Hey, you guys rock. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.